Welcome back to the Swing Glow Podcast Show. Man, it is yours truly, Do Rock Creek. What is happening with all my people out there in the wonderful world tonight? I hope everybody is living in their blessings, man, and definitely being a blessing to somebody that mean anything to you in your life. If we haven't seen it, in recent days, weeks, or months, we are losing people, man. You know what I mean? And people is dying off younger and younger. You know what I'm saying? So it's important, you know what I'm saying? Which is why I always choose to stress the point of being a blessing to somebody and allowing them people that you love to know, you know what I'm saying, how much you love and appreciate them, how much you love and appreciate, you know what I'm saying, having them, in within your life, your circle, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm always giving thanks to those of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because I consider all y'all that come and join me here at this round table to be family. You know what I'm saying? We are kinfolk like that. So when you come here, you know you're in a safe environment, a safe space. You know what I'm saying, and a real getaway from everything else that's going on. Because we do see a lot of drama going on all around the world. You know what I'm saying, in real life. And then when you jump on these YouTube streets, it's even more chaotic in that world right there than I have ever seen. You know what I mean? But however we deal with that as we deal with the things in the real world, you know what I'm saying? We find our corner, our space, and we hold tight there. You know what I'm saying? So really that's what it's all about, man. So appreciate what you got, appreciate all your blessings, you know what I'm saying? And let the people know that mean anything to you, point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Now, as y'all seen the title, you know what I'm saying? Um, Another story that I wanted to bring to y'all, you know what I'm saying? A couple of incidents that took place in the LA County Jail back in 1995. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened these people was related to me. You know what I'm saying? They was my flesh and blood. One being one of my cousins who happened to be a Dalmu, you know what I'm saying, from Pueblo Bishop, you know what I'm saying? And then my uncle Gary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna get on into them stories, man, on how I almost had to, you know what I'm saying, participate, you know what I'm saying, and stabbing them up and getting them up out of the unit we was in, you know what I'm saying? Okay, but before I jump into that, I want to thank all my new subscribers, man. I appreciate y'all choosing the Swang Low Podcast Show to come spend some time with, you know what I'm saying, take in some of these stories, because I know it's a lot of things that went down over the years inside the jail system that a lot of people may not be privy to. You know what I mean? So I like to take the opportunities now because at first I was being more reserved with it, but the more that I see and hear different people jump out there, you know what I'm saying, and tell their tale, you know what I mean? I thought, you know what, hey, why not give some of these, historical times, back to the people so they can see what people's mentalities was back then, what the nature of that environment was, how brutal, how unforgiving, you know what I mean? And really it was the survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? If you was weak, in mind, spirit, and soul, you definitely would have been a victim to something because it was a lot of crazy and horrific things that went down in the LA County Jail back in 1995, man. Some things I was a participant in, other things I witnessed, you know what I'm saying, and had some sort of connection to. Any story that I bring to you is nothing that I've heard second or third hand. You know what I'm saying? When I bring y'all these things, man, trust and believe. I promise you, it's always going to be with authenticity and with my involvement in some way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So I thank you all, the new subscribers. Thank you for choosing the Swang Glow Podcast Show. And for those of y'all that's just viewing, that may be tapped in, if you haven't already subscribed to the show, man, please take this opportunity to subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. It's all for free. You know what I mean? You would definitely hear me asking that every show. You know what I mean? Because this is grind mode. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care how successful one becomes, it's all about continuing to stay on your grind. You know what I'm saying? Doing it with integrity, and the most vigor that you can conjure up within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to move at their own pace. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, thank you all for viewing the show. But please like, comment, and subscribe to the Swing Low Podcast Show. It would definitely help us. And thank you once again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this first story. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hold y'all up too long tonight. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody got things to get back to, so I'm gonna let y'all get back to it indeed. But the first story I'm gonna tell about when I was in the LA County Jail in 1995. This was on the main line, right? Now you have to remember during this period in time, it was a lot of riots going on between the Crips and the Southside Mexicans, right? Now I highlight out the Crips and uh, them because they caught themselves having a so-called green light on the Crips. You know what I'm saying? And they took the opportunity whenever they had to, when they had the numbers to trip. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, when they didn't have it or it was kind of even and shit, it would be more, oh, let's be on some peace treaty shit and talk this out. You know what I'm saying? Well, it came times up in there, you know what I'm saying, where they called themselves trying to put the green light on people and shit. So it was a lot of riots popping off. We wouldn't sit around and wait for them to try to get off on us. You know what I'm saying? You had some motherfuckers that was gung ho, like, you know what? Let's kick it off. Let's go. Point blank, period. I'm not going to be a victim to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we bang it. You know what I'm saying? If niggas is on the street hard, pushing they line the way that they are, you know what I'm saying? Why would you come to jail and be any different? If anything, you become even more savage because you don't have guns. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide behind no gun in no jail. Period. You know what I'm saying? So in that LA County jail, man, that's why they say that if you survive the LA County jail, you can survive anywhere because that is the worst place on earth that you could ever end up. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much time you looking at it doing, you know what I'm saying? From the time you walk in that door, your life is in danger until the time you walk out that motherfucker. Point blank, period. And that was the true nature of the LA County jail. Okay, so at this time, we having these rides back to back with these dudes. And at this particular time, we had just had a riot with them. You know what I'm saying? Just so happened we had stepped out on the tier, when they let us out to go to the kitchen, right? They opened all the cell doors up. Okay. And on one tier is probably 20 something cells. But in each one of those cells, it's like I said, you got to remember overcrowding and all that. The LA County Jail has always been like that. So you're going to have a 6-man cell. Those are the big cells. 6-man cell, meaning only 6 people are supposed to go in there because they have 6 beds in there, right? Well, uh, you're going to have triple that amount of people in one cell, in each one of those cells. You feel me? So just divvy all that up and just put a nice, good portion of Southside Mexicans in there and a nice, good portion, of Crips and Dalmos. You know what I'm saying? Now, typically it was more Crips than it was Dalmos, right? But they never, they had more of a peace treaty, you know what I'm saying, with the Southside Mexicans. So anything that went down, technically, that's why they would say they put the green light on the Crips, meaning they wasn't doing nothing to the Bloods, and the Bloods wasn't doing nothing to them, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I've told the story about how they were snatching their pocket off the shirt, meaning the Bloods, snatching their pocket off their shirt. You know what I'm saying? Indicating to the Southsiders that they wasn't Crips. So if you see a person coming, or coming about with a pocket on their shirt and they was wearing blue and whites, that they was Crips coming out the gang module to get on them, smash them. You feel me? So bam. In this module though, all this stuff was going on the main line, like I said, right? Which was on the 2000 floor in the LA County Jail. So bam, we had just gotten to a ride with these dudes. So now you got we preparing for the next thing. We finna get on them again. You know what I'm saying? Because when the first one kicked off, like I said, we all on the tier. You got all these people on the tier. Now, typically, they would be in the front, meaning the Southside Mexicans. They would be in the front of the tier, and then the blacks would be in the back. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't never the mix. You know what I'm saying? Once you come out your cell, everybody go to this. The ones that's supposed to go here, go here. The ones supposed to go there, go there. You know what I'm saying? It was never a mix. You know what I'm saying? So bam. So anytime you got all these people on one tier, that's where a lot of the riots kicked off at. And you're locked. Once you come outside your cell, you standing on the tier, and then it's a gate in front of that tier, right? But that gate is locked. You got to wait for the sheriff to come and open that gate for people to be able to come and go. Other than that, all y'all locked on the tier. So just imagine a riot pop off. You know what I'm saying? It's hundreds of people on this tier, and motherfuckers got knives. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you know what I'm saying? From the once it kick off. You know what I'm saying? And people was getting dragged in these crowds. They getting beat. They getting stomped out. They getting stabbed up. All that. You know what I'm saying? So we had just went through one of those. So now we in the cell strategizing. It's probably like 20 Crips from everywhere. Compton, Watts, you know what I'm saying? The San Gabriel Valley, you know what I'm saying? Lancaster, you got Crips from everywhere in that motherfucker, right? So bam, we all in the cell. We locked inside the cell. Now, in each cell, you know, LA County Jail got bars, you know what I'm saying, going through the cell that locks you in. So anybody can walk by and look inside of each cell. You know what I'm saying? So what we would usually do, especially when we was getting ready to do some dirt, is tie sheets up on the rails, on the bars. You know what I'm saying? So bam, I remember us all being in this cell, and we in there strategizing first. Then we start making the knives, right? We in there making swords. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is mad, niggas is hot, focused, and serious. You know what I'm saying? Once we had the meeting on what we was gonna do and how we was gonna do it, that was locked in stone. You know what I'm saying? Now we on this mission to get this weaponry right. Bam. So while we in there getting this weaponry right, we also got a few young Crips on the bars, meaning in the front of the cell, you know, watching, you know what I'm saying, to see if anybody trying to creep, you know what I'm saying, by and see what we doing. You know what I mean? So bam, I remember we up in there, you know, we in there doing our thing. And I remember one of the Crips in there like, hey man, it's a motherfucker that keep on walking by the cell, like peeking in the cell. So you got another Crip in there, right? I remember the homie from Kelly Park. I can't remember his name, right? So bam, he like a tall ass nigga, tall, crazy motherfucker, right? He was like, what? He like, who is it, cuz? Who is it? So the little niggas at the bars and shit, they like, man, that's some old nigga. He like, it's a nigga, but he old, right? So I'm over there doing, I'm hearing this, but I'm not really paying it no mind. I'm focused on what I'm doing. But what really made me zone in on what they were saying, because they kept, I guess he kept walking back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And what I ended up finding out later on is he was trying to figure out where all the other blacks was, right? Right? He wasn't a Crip. You couldn't come in, you wasn't finna attend that meeting, and you wasn't finna come in that cell if you wasn't a Crip. It wasn't finna happen. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't a Crip. You know what I'm saying? So bam, while we in it, we doing our thing. They talking about it, man. I swear to God, this nigga walk by this bar one more time. I'm finna snatch this nigga to the bar, man, and we just gonna stab him all in his face and neck, right? So I'm like, so I put my knife down. I'm like, man, let's see who these niggas talking about, right? I want to see who it is now because they tripping, right? So bam, I go to the bars and I peek out the curtain. And sure enough, and one of the little niggas like, here he come right now, cuz here he come right now, right? So when he walk in my view, I look and I'm looking at him as he walked by. I said, I said, wait a minute, I'm telling them I know him, right? They like, what? What? You know him? I said, yeah, man. I said, I know him, right? I said, this in my head, I'm like, this look like my uncle, but I'm not sure because he looked bad, right? And I ain't seen him since the last time I seen my uncle, man. He had just got out of prison, and um, he had just got out of prison, and he had came out to our house in Morovia, right? And I remember I was walking up the street, and when I get in front of my house, him and my mom's, and I believe my grandmom's, God rest her soul, was standing in front of the house on the porch, and him distinctly, because he was the only was only one man voice over there, and it was only one dude, which was him, right? He like, look at him, he gang banging, his pants hanging off his butt, and this and that, and blah blah blah, right? This nigga got a suit on. You know what I'm saying? With his back then, my Uncle Gary used to wear like a perm. You know what I'm saying? Like he old school, old school. But this when I was little. You know what I'm saying? I was young, man. I was probably like 13, right? So bam, pointing out to my mom's now, his pants hanging off his butt. Look at this. And he's standing there in this suit with a Bible in his hand, right? With the perm. Right? So I'm like, I just remember like this nigga, I can't believe he putting this out there to my mom's like that. Then my mom's got the tripping, not to pull, you better pull your pants up, not to come in my house like that. Don't even come to the into the yard. Pull your till you pull your pants up, right? So I'm like, damn. So bam. So any now fast forward to when I'm in the county jail and I'm peeking through that curtain, I see him walk by. Now he don't look like that. He don't. This is years. Remember, I was like 13 then. Years passed by, 1995. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing him for the first time since that day. Right? So bam, I'm peeking out the curtain and he walked by and I look and I'm like, damn, this look like my uncle, but he looks smoked the fuck out, right? So bam, I'm telling the little Crips, I'm like, wait, man, no, we ain't hold up. I think I know him. I think I know him. I said, it looked like my uncle, right? They like, your uncle. I'm like, yeah. So they like, man, you better check and make sure, nigga, because we finna get on him. So bam, when he come back, I'm like, I said, Gary, right? I'm peeking out the curtain. I said, Gary. That nigga looked, he said, huh? Huh? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm telling them in the cell. I'm like, man, that's my uncle, nigga. So they like, oh man, like, man, we was finna straight get him. Now, if they get on him, I got to get on him. You know what I'm saying? But this is before I knew it was him. That's why when they kept talking about it, it distracted me from what I was over there focused on doing. So I go to the bars and I want to see because if they get on him, I got to get on him. Point blank, period. So bam. Once I seen it that it was my uncle, oh no, that's not gonna happen. Right? So um, I talked to him, and I'm like, look, he got to come in here with us, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna leave my uncle out there, right? They like, man, is he a crip? I'm like, nah, he ain't no crip, nigga. But that's my uncle. He got to come in here, right? So bam, they like, all right, fuck it, cuz. So bam, they get him in. So I'm over here hollering at him. I'm like, man, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn, man, what happened to you, man? So he trying to tell me, his case, what he was in jail for, which was bull. It was some straight bull, right? So I'm like, man, he like, man, call your mama and tell her I love her and this and that and blah blah blah, right? So I'm like, man. So moms, if you watch, know you be tapped into the show. If you watching this, tell me if you remember when Gary was in the county jail with me. Man, I got him in the cell with me and we called you on the phone. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole trip. Matter of fact, it was two of my uncles, him and my uncle Robert from Bounty Hunters. You know what I'm saying? They call him Big Two Sweets. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? All the old heads know who I'm talking about. Robert Belcher. That's my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Bounty Hunter Watts. So bam. Then you had okay. So that incident took place. That was with my uncle Gary, bro. Where I almost had to do something to him and shit. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up getting out after that. He had a bullshit case. He was in there for some bull. I'm not gonna put his business out there. Shout out Uncle Gary. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, bam, moving on into this next story. Right now I'm not on the main line. I'm in the state module. The state module was on the 3,000 floor, 36, 3,800. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you had you had do rocks all in there. We was in there probably like 6 or 7 deep. You know what I'm saying? And that was just in the state module at that time. You got to remember, like I told y'all, this is 1995. A lot of us had came back to jail around the same time. You know what I mean? So like all the factors at that time, we all went to the crip module. You know what I'm saying? And we was, you know, when we heard one of the real ones that got locked up or anything and shit, we was getting them pulled into the crip module. You know what I'm saying? It was no other option. Like homies had to come in there. If you was a real one, you was coming in there. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up, but anyway, in the state module, we all over there. You know what I'm saying? And there was a number of incidents that kept happening with the Bloods, with the Dalmos. You know what I'm saying? Crips kept happening. You know, having different little scrimmages and shit with these dudes, right? You know, so bam, I remember one of my homies and a nigga from Hoover and a nigga from A Trey Gangster, right, on the bus. You know what I'm saying? They ended up taking off on some damn moves. They came out they handcuffs, you know what I'm saying, and beat the niggas with the chains. The same strategy that I told you that the Southside Mexicans had used on me and the nigga No Good from 60s, from rolling 60s. You know what I'm saying? The homies did that to some damn moves, right? So bam, I remember us walking to the kitchen one day, you know what I'm saying? We in there eating, and the homie, you know, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was like, man, he like that looked like the nigga, that looked like the one of the niggas we got on the bus, right? So I'm like, I see the nigga, right? He got the mean mug on his face and shit, you know what I'm saying? So then I see the nigga that's sitting next to him. Like as soon as I walk by, we locked eyes, right? I look at him exactly the way that he looked at me, which was, damn, this nigga look like me, right? So bam. But and then I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, he looked like me, man. This looked like one of my cousins, right? So I keep it pushing though. I don't pay no mind, no attention after that, after I leave out the kitchen. So bam. I remember us being on the tier. They had let us out for something, so we all on the tier. And I remember I just told y'all the story about the fight that I had with one of my ex homies in the Crip module that tried to take off on me when I was putting my shoes on, right? And I ended up, you know, so bam, this same homie is in the state module with me, and that he's the one always beating on his head and shit, right? So he is pacing back and forth on the tier, right? We all standing out there. He like, man, he say this S ass nigga. You know, he used the derogatory term to disrespect the Bloods. This S ass nigga downstairs keep on steering up here, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga wants some problems. I seen that punk ass nigga sitting in the kitchen with that other nigga we got on the bus with the chains and shit. Like, man, the nigga finna get on this nigga, cuz. This nigga keep on standing up, staring up here and shit, right? So, right. So I'm like, who the fuck is he talking about? I don't even know who he talking about, right? But while he's talking, I'm looking, I'm scanning downstairs because we upstairs. We was on Charlie Road, right? And the person that he was talking about was on Abel Road. They up under us, right? So bam, I'm scanning downstairs and I see one nigga standing down there. He's standing down there with his arm crossed, looking up there like that, right? And he had the red chain on with the red cross. So I look, I say, damn, that's that nigga I seen in the kitchen, right? So I'm looking at him. He looking at me with kind of like a half-ass smile on his face and shit, right? Like he's thinking the same exact thing that I'm thinking. Like this nigga look like me, and he got to be one of my cousins. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not sure. And on top of that, the homie up here tripping, and this is the dude that he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? That he want to get on. So now we all up there kind of pumped up, but at the same time, while I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. We lock eyes, and I'm just standing. I'm looking. So I said, "Hey," I said, is your name Michael? He's like, I knew that was you, nigga. I knew that was you. Right? Just so happened, this is my cousin Michael, right? They call him Mike Dog from Pueblos, Big Mike Dog, right? So I'm like, oh man, I said, so I'm telling the homies like, cuz you know him? I'm like, man, that's my cousin, nigga, right? They like, no, I'm like, yeah, man, that's my cousin, right? So they looking at him, they like, damn, that's crazy. Y'all niggas do look just alike, right? So bam, uh, me and him talking and shit, you know what I'm saying? So now all the tension died down. But this nigga had just pumped us up. You know, we finna go down there and get with him and his homies and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we was on that type of timing back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, certain issues like that, we not gonna wait. Either they gonna get on you or try, you know what I'm saying, or you gonna get on them, you know what I'm saying? But we knew in them times, you know what I'm saying, during them days, man, it wasn't no playing. You can't play with niggas, you know what I'm saying, or you're gonna be a victim. And then especially in that county jail, like you, man, hey, I've seen some of the most vicious, atrocious things go down in that place, man. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't, you know, inmate on inmate, it was us on the police, or the police definitely on us. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all, um, the whole reason why they even moved us all out the crip module. Do you know that it was so bad in there that they shut the crip module down while we was in it, built a whole new one. That's how Linwood ended up getting built. To those of y'all that's been to Linwood, or um, you know, if anybody putting any comments in here, I can't see them. But if you ever been to Linwood County Jail, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a newer jail. They built that jail in they opened it up January of 1996. I'll never forget it because that was the day when they took the first batch of niggas out the crib module and sent them to Linwood. And then they took a small portion of us and sent us to high powered DPE in Wayside on the 8,000 floor, right? So, I mean, was that the 8,000? I think it was the 8,000 floor. So, um, I remember the people that they put on that line. And the reason why they did it like that is because it was an incident that took place in the crypt module, where when they let us out for our showers, they will bust open all the cell doors. Well, they will bust open a certain amount of doors, you know what I'm saying, and just go down the road, right? So just so happened they had did that one morning upstairs where all the neighborhoods was at, right? And when they did that, it was police that working in there that was foul. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing that even sparked all this, they had one little specific police that was working in there that we used to call Fireball because he had red hair. He looked like Opie. You know what I'm saying? He was a little short, you know, he had a little man complex for one, and he was white. You know what I'm saying? And he had red hair, and he had freckles. You know what I'm saying? And he had the most shittiest attitude that you can ever think of. You remember that movie, Green Mile? If any of y'all seen that movie, Green Mile, it was a police in there that worked in the jail. That he was a straight asshole. I'm talking about a complete asshole, right? And when dude sucked the illness out of the rat because he saved the rat's life in there. He sucked the illness out and let it out, and that guard caught it, the asshole, and he got real sick. You know what I'm saying? That ended up dying. Well, that's the type of dude that this little fireball person was. He came in there and started, you know what I'm saying, some shit. You know what I'm saying? He came in there and cut off the phones, the toilets, and everything, right? So people cussing him out as he go down the tier, right? And then they start throwing shit at him. So once that happened, they bring in reinforcement. So we ended up getting into a big old thing with the police and shit. I told y'all about that, right? But Fireball is the reason why all this shit started. So bam, one morning they let upstairs out for their showers, and a couple of East Coasters, a couple of niggas from East Coast, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember who else. that participated in that. But when they went out, you know, you go out the first door, they unlock that, and then you go through that hallway, and then the showers is to the left, right? And usually the sheriff will stand right there in the open. You know what I mean? It'd probably be like 5 or 6 of them standing right there. Well, just so happened that morning it was like 5 or 6 of them standing there, including the sergeant, right? So when they let the niggas from East Coast out for their shower and shit, they went out there and stabbed them dudes up, stabbed them up, got them good, right? So bam, after that, they came in there, we get into it, we make them cell distractors. A cell distraction is when they physically got to come in there and remove you out of the cell. You know what I mean? And when they attempt to do that, we fight back. You know what I'm saying? So we in there thundering with the police, you know what I mean? But one thing, they have the weaponry. They shoot the fire grenades up inside the cells, which is like when they explode on contact, for one, you know what I'm saying? And it's a big bright flash, and then like a whole bunch of rubber balls fly out the motherfucker everywhere. They explode and them balls fly out everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Them things was knocking sinks and shit off the wall. You know what I mean? Almost got shot in the head with one during a confrontation with the sheriff where we got off on him. You know what I'm saying? So it was no joke at all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the East Coasters and shit got on the dudes up in there. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up paying the cost for that. So after that, that's why they closed the LA County Jail crypt module down 32, 3400 because of that. So when they ended up building Linwood and they opened that up, and that's what became where they moved the new crypt module to. You know what I'm saying? So when they put everything over there, they switched everything around. They wouldn't let you go in the cell with your homies. They was mixing anybody with everybody. Like niggas was, you know what I'm saying? Just so happened by the time I made it there, I was in the cell with Barney from Five Deuce Hoover. You know what I'm saying? Who eventually had became my crimey on an incident that I think I told y'all about already up in there. You know what I'm saying? Him and T-Lo from 107 who, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I ran into my cousin that time, man, and it almost went drastic, you know what I'm saying? Because like I told y'all, the homie definitely had pumped us up, you know what I'm saying, to get cracking on him and, you know what I'm saying, the couple of people that was down there with him and shit. But just by chance, I recognized that that was my cousin, you know what I'm saying? And it tripped us out. And so then I ended up hopping on the phone with my mama. Mom's, do you remember when Michael was in the county with me? You know what I'm saying? We called you then. You know what I'm saying? He was hit. I remember you was telling me you had just seen him at the family reunion. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga that went from that to LA County jail with me, like that was crazy. That was wild. You know what I'm saying? Almost just as wild when I finally had ran into Uncle Robert in there, you know, and hold up, y'all. Seeing him, I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna cut the camera. But seeing Uncle Robert in there for the first time, man. Now, what y'all don't know about my Uncle Too Sweet is he was very, very notorious for boxing. Too Sweet was a big old dude, man. My Uncle Robert, my Uncle Robert probably had about some 20-inch arms. I used to think, you know, that he was the Incredible Hulk when I was little because he was so big. I'm talking no fat, big, swole, looked like a bodybuilder, right? He was so big, he never wore a shirt. He always wear cut off like Levi's and shit. You know what I'm saying? No socks. If he did have some shoes on, it was some beat up shoes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he wore one of them little 1970 afros and shit. Hey, the craziest person that I ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? I'm talking about to the point where when my Uncle Robert came around, you actually had other people in my family, niggas, hiding. That was hard. These niggas was hard. But when Uncle Robert came around, he didn't play no BS. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it came to my mom's. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom's name was young. You know what I'm saying? So, and at that time, you had my Uncle Darcel. My Uncle Darcel, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He was from Nah Nah Mafia Crip. So you got all these dudes, what I'm saying, young and in this space, including my mom's young, you know what I'm saying? And they was living on their own, doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? So my uncle Too Sweet, when he came around, niggas just knew, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's legendary stories about my uncle Robert, man, because um, he was known for having hands. He used to box when he was in Folsom State Prison. You know what I'm saying? Then eventually he became the boxing coach, but he's notorious amongst a lot of the old heads that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Any and everybody, you know what I'm saying, that's been around know about Big Too Sweet from Bounty Hunter Bloods. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I seen him in the LA County jail for the first time. You know what I mean? I'm walking down the hallway. I'm going one way, he going the other. You know what I'm saying? And he got his greens on. Now that's another thing. When you go through that LA County jail, usually you're gonna go to the 9,000 flow. When you go to the 9,000 flow, that's when you're gonna see my uncle Too Sweet because any and every time he go to the LA County jail, they instantly make him a trustee. He off the top, and he go up there and run everything, including the police. You feel me? So, and he's the biggest person that you gonna see, and he was known for beating dudes up in there. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. And some police, if they got out of line, and man, he did what he wanted there. My uncle Too Sweet was legend. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Beach Boy? Oh, Beach Boy said, "Hey everyone." He's saying what's up with everybody. He said, "I've been listening YouTube, stay tripping. They wouldn't let me leave a comment in the chat." Hey, yeah, hey man, they be tripping, bro. They be tripping. I had a dude jump in one of my comments and say some weirdo stuff, right? And I respond to what he said, and they threatened to strike my channel behind it. You know what I'm saying? So if um you got into it with somebody, you know what I'm saying, and you said something that went against their community guidelines, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna try to block you from being able to leave comments. Or if somebody reports you, you know what I'm saying, for something that you probably have put that they didn't like and they report you, they'll still block you for that too. Like they be tripping, bro. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning more and more about this YouTube thing every day, and they stay trying to chop your head off. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you was able to drop this comment, man, and I'm glad that you are right out there. I appreciate you tapping in, man. You definitely family here. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. I extend love and appreciation to you all off the bat. For real, for real. But yeah, we got to be conscious of what we do. And that's what I'm saying. Like the stuff they trip on, I see far worse going on YouTube, man. Far worse, far more crazier things being said. Like, hey, and I don't know. I guess it is what it is, man. But it's a blessing to be here right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, taking anything for granted. Our time together, you know what I'm saying? Precious, valuable. You know what I'm saying? Just like y'all. You know what I mean? So, hey, not taking nothing for granted, man. Feel me? But yeah, hey man, the LA County jail during the times that I was in there, which was savage. You know what I'm saying? Because you had to become something else to survive in there. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, meet energy. You know what I'm saying? If not exceed, because it was a lot of savages, and you got to understand these dudes. Everybody come from different sectors. You know what I'm saying? Different parts of LA County. That's all you're gonna find in there technically is people from the LA County, the whole entire LA County. You know what I'm saying? That's LA, South Central, Watts really is South Central, Compton, Long Beach, you know what I'm saying? The whole San Gabriel Valley, uh, the whole San Fernando Valley, you know what I'm saying? Lancaster, you know what I'm saying? All LA County. You know what I'm saying? So all these different people coming from all these different environments and shit, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see some shit. You're gonna see some shit, man. You definitely gonna see some shit. For real, for real. But yeah, man, that was the stories I wanted to bring to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all know that, being that I gave a lot of time to the jailhouse, you know what I'm saying, and away from the family, you know what I'm saying, for so long that when you come across them, it's like, and you see what they grew into their life, some good, some bad, and some just neutral. You know what I'm saying? It's a trip. You know what I mean? And then thinking back from then up until now, where people at in their life, like even now, from that point, I haven't seen my cousin Michael. You know what I'm saying? Haven't really heard anything about him. You know what I'm saying? As well as with my uncle Gary. You know what I'm saying? I've heard a lot of things about Gary. You know what I'm saying? But hey, being young and being in those situations where, you know what I'm saying, you is living in that savagery, you know what I mean, and in the midst of battle, war, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and you run into your people and their life was that close to being threatened, is crazy. It's crazy. Their life and their safety and all that is in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? For being basically at the wrong place at the wrong time around the wrong niggas. You feel me? So you always have to be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, Especially being put in an environment like that. I hope and pray that none of y'all end up in, a situation like that where you have to go to the LA County jail, man, because you know what I'm saying? It's no joke. Definitely not something you're gonna like writing home about. You know what I'm saying? Because the living conditions is horrible, horrible, horrible. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is cramped up in there. You got motherfuckers sleeping on the floor, man, and you got rats this big running around up in there, bro. Bigger than your foot. You know what I'm saying? Bigger than your foot, and niggas sleeping on the floors. And I done seen niggas sleep down on the floors, and the rats just running all over 'em. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been a floor sleeper in the LA County jail. Anytime I went in the cell, I got me a bunk. You know what I'm saying? The white boys that was in there at that time, if they in the cell with blacks and Mexicans, guess what? And they in there and they got a bunk, I come in there and there's one in there and he got a bunk. Sometime I ain't gonna even have to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I went in, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I walked in the cell and the door closed, he was up there asleep. And he jumped up real fast and seen me come in there. He got up, and just took his sheets off the mattress, balled all this shit up, and hopped down on the floor and got nice and comfy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Made my bed up, you know what I'm saying? Climbed up there after that long day of processing. You know what I mean? It's gonna take about 15, 16 hours from the time you walk in. You know what I'm saying? Processing is the coldest ever. It's gonna take you about, it's gonna take you some hours to get to your final destination because you go through so many different stages. Go watch some of them documentaries they got on YouTube when it comes to the LA County jail. I bullshit you not. It's cold. In my opinion, inhumane. For real, for real. How y'all doing though, man? Bang the chat up and let me know before we get on up out of here, man. I'm gonna get ready to shut this down. Let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling out there. You know what I'm saying? And so I know everything is everything. Y'all been all right. Y'all been taking care of yourself, taking care of business, all that. And we're gonna close this thing on down. I done held y'all up long enough. And if by chance nobody has anything to say, then we're gonna go ahead and get on about this thing. And I know a lot of people is gonna be catching this late. You know what I'm saying? Because I was maneuvering and you know what I'm saying, chilling with Morticia, and I lost track of time when I was really supposed to be taking care of this other stuff, and it just slipped my mind. You know what I'm saying? So To those of y'all that end up catching this late, you know what I'm saying? My bad. I wasn't on my job like I was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But I did not let y'all down. Still showed up. Still got the job done. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully y'all enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like I've been saying, consistency is the key to being able to build a bridge and create understanding, you know, for those that need some understanding about certain things and certain histories and, you know what I'm saying, moments in time, you know, that some people may have been through and forgot about or choose not to speak about. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's what we here for. You feel me? That's why we got Swing Glow. So I'm not gonna let y'all down. You're not gonna let me down. You feel me? We're not gonna let each other down. Most important. So, you know, whatever I'm able to provide for y'all, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna provide it. You know what I'm saying. Shout out to the young homie that hit me. Was that yesterday or probably the day before? You know what I'm saying. He said he loved hearing the L.A. County jail story. So don't trip. I got a million. You know what I'm saying? And like he did, I appreciate the suggestions. You know what I'm saying? That's why I brought this story to y'all because he suggested that I do it. So all y'all got to do is bang the chat up, man. Let me know what you want to hear. You know, we're gonna bring it to the round table. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can hit me up, question me about whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever story that I told y'all about. You know what I'm saying? We're here to discuss it. We're here to understand it. You know what I'm saying? And more than anything, be entertained, be informed, and be aware. You know what I mean? And you know, that's the moral of what we do. You feel me? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on up out of here, man. I'm gonna close this thing down. I want all of y'all to continue to take care of yourself, be a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Live within your blessings. Appreciate what you have. Stop complaining about the things that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that don't matter is not going to get you paid, and it's definitely not going to change your situation. If anything, it would make it worse. I don't know nobody that aspires to want worse. You know what I'm saying? So I know we all want to, you know what I'm saying, be better in whatever it is that, you know, we engage in, you know, give our time and energy to, you know what I'm saying? And hey, that should be anybody's inspiration. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. But look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this thing down. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. I appreciate everybody to step to the round table, and to those of y'all that catch the stream later, you know what I'm saying? Y'all take care and be a blessing, man. If you made it to this part of the video, hey, that means you was invested. Love y'all, man. Till the next time we meet at this round table, everybody be safe. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the rest of your night. Love y'all. Triple gang.